I remember the day it happened. I was sitting at the airport trying to get to another state when all of the televisions at every terminal were capturing live footage. That 8th century Gothic sanctuary with its more than 1,300-year-old wooden roof, its stones and spires like spears and artillery at military rest, were engulfed in flames. It was that picture, that day, that captured the world. The church was on fire. Notre Dame, that historic sanctuary, was burning to the ground. As the images of the smoldering pews and the water-run altar flooded newspapers and televisions, one striking, most obvious image shone forth almost apocalyptically, almost as if it were like a picture of the end times. Amid the wrecked ruins of the cathedral, with everything having fallen around it, with smoking beams and fermented cornices, there it was at the altar. That golden cross was still standing. I stared at those televisions that day in the airport. What a picture. It's a kind of defiance of the cross to outlast empires, civilizations, and attempts at its own destruction. You can see something even more magnificent in that picture, can't you? Like this: why has the story of the cross of Calvary lasted all these years? Why do people still talk about it? Why are we headed to church on Resurrection Sunday morning? Why does it still arrest the attention of humanity today? Well, I think 1 Corinthians 15 answers that question in full. It is because the story of the cross did not end. Well, it didn't end with the cross. We can tell with indisputable proof that the cross was not the final act of him who was hung upon it. Jesus lived beyond that grave. That's what I want to encourage you with today. Life has its own despairing, dark, and difficult seasons where hopes and dreams go to the graveyard, where visions and plans are hung upon beaten trees, where even we one day ourselves will face those final draws of breath. And when that moment comes, when those kind of death occasions besiege us, we need to know something. We need to know that the resurrection of Jesus is a fact. It is not fiction. It is real. It is realer still. Its certainty transforms our deaths into life. That's right. Paul writes to this church at Corinth that the resurrection of Jesus Christ not only happened, but people saw him alive after he was crucified on that cross. And that means it changes everything. Because since Jesus died, one day, for those who trust him, one day when we perish, we will be raised again. And it will come in a certain order. But that mystery is this: it is that death will no longer be able to hold us down in the grave. That whereas death may take us from this life, Jesus will take us from death. And we will exchange this corruptible and put on incorruptible. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to that day where my new body suit, as it were, will not be lured and tempted in the same way that my current one is. That this perishable will put on the imperishable. Death will be swallowed up into victory. Did you know that whenever human beings go into outer space, they have to wear what we call space suits? Yeah, you can't just go up there with the way you are right now. You won't be able to breathe. You won't be able to walk. You'll just float around and go into an oblivion. You need a suit, something to surround you that helps you to navigate and make it in that new utterly foreign terrain. Well, that's the promise of 1 Corinthians 15. It is that God is going to exchange this corruptible with the incorruptible, this perishable with the imperishable. He's going to swallow up death in victory, and then we will have new resurrection bodies. We'll go from the land of some more to the land of no more. Down here, there's some more trouble, some more heartache, some more disappointment, some more violence, some more hunger to endure. But we're headed to the land where there will be no more sorrow, No more pain, no more tears, no more trouble. The elders in the church I grew up in used to say it this way: it'll always be howdy, howdy, and never goodbye. The weary will cease from trouble and will be at rest. God bless you, friends. Sunday is coming. It's Easter. Jesus got up.